Welcome back to Powerboating in Paradise, guys. It's called The Adventures of the Florida Powerboat Club. Stu Jones, along with producer Ryan McCoy here as we roll right through this Key West Poker Run 2023 footage, of course, presented by Mercury Racing. Lots of great stuff here as we get into the Thursday run, so let's not waste any time. We'll kick things off with thanking our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor for the FPC 2023 series of events is Mercury Racing, celebrating 50 years of wide open. And by these sponsors in alphabetical order: Big Thunder Marine, Blackwater Boats, Cigarette Racing Team, Concept Boats, Deep Impact Custom Boats, Doug Wright Powerboats, Fountain Powerboats, Midnight Express Boats, Nortec High Performance Boats, Performance Boat Center, Plantation Boat Mart, SD Marine Group Isla Morada, along with Statement Marine, our local performance boat builder from right here in the Tampa Bay area. The team at Grove Harbor working real busy this morning here on a Thursday. Beautiful day, shaping up to be the Top Gun Flight 1130 back in the water. We took it out yesterday for a quick repair to a drive sync sensor. So we got that fixed. Mercury Racing parts were available. We got it done quickly, and that's about it. Otherwise, 140 hours now on these engines, which were new exactly 1 year ago when we did the Key West Poker Run. Brand new Mercury Racing 565s. Here we are now with Mercury Racing as our presenting sponsor for the 2023 edition of the Key West Offshore Poker Run. Getting things lined up here today for the Thursday departure. A big group today, already Tuesday and Wednesday. We've taken well over 100 boats down, 30 on Tuesday and about 70 yesterday. Today, a much, much bigger day, expecting probably 140 to 150. Not all starting from here, but from different departure points. But we will have a big group putting together here at Grove Harbor, getting ready to do the poker card stop here at 10:15 with a 10:30 start. But want to thank the team at Grove Harbor Marina for doing a great job here. We're going to be saying goodbye to them today, and of course a lot of us coming back here after the poker run, and quite a few of our storage customers or people that are in the club are keeping their boats here for the entire season. Why wouldn't you? You've got Key Biscayne right there, Biscayne Bay, on the doorstep to the Florida Keys. Make a right turn and you're in Key Largo in about 35 minutes. So just getting ready for the start and enjoying this 2023 edition of the Key West Offshore Poker Run with members of the Florida Powerboat Club. Oh, you gotta love those cool staff shirts. You know, even I get to wear one, so I can feel important and throw dock lines. And I never even got a tip. 92 Pershing, and I never even got a tip for helping the guy. I think he was mad because I was kicking him off the dock. It's like, we got to do poker cards here. And besides, Kendall's here, and it's her dock now. Kendall and Melissa, yeah, they're going to take over now, guys. We're going to start the cards. Yeah, here we go. The fun part of the day is, I call it the crew close-ups. Everybody's having a great morning, and we got a beautiful day ahead of us. Jimmy Johnson from New Jersey and his crew on this big 52-foot Nortec Roadster. And it's got 4 engines, guys. Oh, yeah, it's the one. It's got 4 big 1075s, 4,400 horsepower in this big cat. So let's just go ahead and plan on giving Jimmy the most outrageous boat award for the Key West Poker Run. Let's listen in. Frank Schultz and Brenda here, first mate, grabbing the card on this Nortec 390 Sport. Nice to see Frank getting back on board with us here at the club. He's been a player with us for over 20 years and had so many different boats over the years, but seems to be really loving this Nortec 390 Sport. And yes, indeed, we're going to see a lot of Nortecs on this run, one of the highest ranked manufacturers on the Key West Poker Run every year. And a lot of these statements going to be showing up. This time it's Greg Collinson, first mate Marie up front grabbing the card. They are Canadians, but they spent a lot of time in Florida. They keep the statement over on the west coast near St. Petersburg and do a lot of our events now, at least 3 or 4 a year. And this 35 continues to be one of my favorite statements. Something about that blue, I just love the colors. And let's welcome back veterans Ray and Jill Kowalik with Bikini Bottom 2, 42-foot MTI with Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Well, what was number one? It was a 42 MTI also with 400. So nice to see them continuing their support with MTI and with Florida Powerboat Club by attending this event. Home port is Missouri, but they keep the boat in Cape Coral in the winter months. And a very special welcome to Ron and Jeanette Forbes from Florida in this Nortec 3900 Super V. God, this boat brings back memories for me. A beautiful paint job and Twin Mercury Racing 700s. Guys, when these boats rolled out in 07 and 08, they were truly eye-catchers everywhere they went. And let's welcome back Scott Rosenbach and his crew in this big 50-foot MTI team from Illinois that are regulars here on this Key West event every year. Looks like the ladies are ready for a fun day on the water. Look at the size of that 50. It looks like it's 70 feet long. I think we have the highest ratio of new 50 MTIs on this event than we have ever had before. I believe we're up to 8 SV50s. Now let's welcome Scott and Lori Hebert all the way from Maine. 1,500 miles they trailer down this 2008 Donzi 38. Got a pair of Mercury Racing 700s, so let's listen to this beast rumble. They said that they've done a lot of poker runs all around the Northeast, but it was time to try something different. Well, this is certainly different here in Key West. Love the outfits, gang. And another team that's a long way from home, all the way up in Michigan, Craig and Sarah Blankenship in this statement 35. And they've had a good year so far with the club. They just got the boat earlier in the year. They did the Miami Boat Show poker run. We saw them again a couple of months later at the Tampa run. I believe they went home for the summer months all the way up to Michigan, but here they are back again. So a pretty good track record and a lot of miles on that trailer. So thanks to this team for coming back to join us for Key West. And now what I would consider to be one of the best in the 40 and under class probably would be Jackie Rachel standing up on the front of the boat. No, I'm talking about the new Nortec 400 Super Sport. But certainly Ed would agree with me. It doesn't get much better than that young Miss Jackie who's grabbing that card with a lot of confidence because she's done this many times before. And she's done a great job of recruiting these lovely ladies for the ride today, enjoying their brand new Nortec 400 Super Sport Quad 500Rs. And we saw this team running fast in the last episode, but now it's time for an up-close introduction of Juan or Ricky and JC Alvarez from Miami, along with their crew member Ramiro running along on their very first Key West poker run. I love what they wrote. Ricky says that it was his first time FPC poker run for father and son experience, which was truly awesome. They always wanted to have a boat to do the poker run in. They worked hard together in the family business, and now they own this beautiful 36 Doug Wright cat named Block Money. And a very special introduction to another new team, Fabrico and Laura Cordoba from Florida, in a brand new Nortec 390 Sport Quad Mercury Racing 500Rs. Guys, you're going to see a lot of these Nortecs on this run. I think one of the best showings of for the Nortec 390 model on a single event. We'll count them up later. I want to thank them for attending. And does that boat have Corinthian leather? I just want to check. And another new team introduction, Ryan and Erica Morrell, all the way from Maine. Guys, you guys came a long way to be here. It's a 2016 340 Nortec with plenty of room for all their friends, and they brought along Ricky and Kristen, Kevin and Tara, Justin and Emily, and Ivan. So they got a big crew today. Looks like everybody's ready for a big day on the water heading to Key West. And another one of our local Miami-based veterans, Ray Akey, Team HAMMERTIME. It's a Deep Impact 399 model. The second Deep Impact for Ray, but about the 5th or 6th boat since he joined the club, probably 15 or more years ago. Always has a big party on board. Kind of low-key right now, but wait till he gets to Key West. That boat will have 15 people partying hard. And speaking of partying hard, well, of course, David and Jenny Landsman have always got a fun crew on board with their Game Changer, 43-foot Midnight Express Solstice model. A big showboat for Midnight, always has the best of everything on board, as well as those 5 Mercury Racing 450Rs. And it's another Florida team. This time it's Thomas and Lisa Cox. And another one of those new Nortec 400 Super Sports. They're starting to get more of these boats out. They're a pretty hot item right now. You got to wait about 2 years to get one. So they must have been on the wait list for quite a while. Beautiful lines and graphics on this boat. And check out the engine package. One of the first we've seen with the quad Mercury Racing 400Rs. Those are the V10s, guys. Look how much taller the motors are than the 500s and the 450s. And it's Josh and Kylie Ballone, who are all the way here from Massachusetts. There's Kylie reaching out for the card on their Cigarette 39 Top Gun. A beautiful boat, 2008 model, but completely repowered recently. Josh says that he got a brand new set of Mercury Racing 700 SCIs with M6 drives. Put them in the boat. By the way, guys, all by himself. He does all his own wrenching and mechanical work. I think that's pretty impressive. And it's another Cigarette. This time it's a late model 42X. Rick Regal from Ohio with his first mate reaching out for the poker card. This is a fantastic 42X model, guys. Mercury Racing 1100s. And Rick only knows one speed, and that's pretty much wide open throttle. He has put on such a great show for us on a lot of these poker runs, especially in the rough water, where he loves to just push the throttle down, and he does not hold back. And it's turning out to be a little Cigarette showcase here right now. The third Cigarette pulling up. This time it's a 41 Nighthawk Team BEHAVIN. That's Catherine McCormick, who started doing runs with us earlier in the year. I think her first event was the Miami Boat Show poker run about 9 months earlier, where they had so much fun, and she kept telling me she just couldn't wait to come back and do another run. You got to love the matching team shirts and hats, and hard to beat the enthusiasm of this team. It is truly contagious. And rounding out our final card here today at Grove Harbor in this 34 MTI is Eusebio Verrier from Miami. I call him the International Man of Mystery. Why? Well, because I follow him on Facebook, and every time he pops up on a social media post, he's in a different continent, a different country, having fun. Today, guys, he chooses to be with Florida Powerboat Club, and for me, that makes me very proud and happy to see him back. Well, we covered a lot of the aerial footage in our last episode, number 3, so let's just fast forward right to Gilbert as we catch up with Skip Cripps and his 42-foot Mystic as we pass through Jewfish Creek on this beautiful Thursday, and catch up with the crew as they're getting settled in here at Gilbert's. Going to be a lot of boats here today. Might set a record, or it certainly looks like it. The boats have gotten so much bigger over the years that it doesn't take long. You put 8 or 10 boats together and be out in the middle of the Intracoastal. Well, way back in the day, it was a bunch of 8-foot wide V-bottoms like Fountains and Cigarettes, and you could put 12 to 14 and you'd still be only halfway out in the canal. So things have changed over the years. The boats have gotten longer, wider, and bigger. So it certainly changes the dynamic here at Gilbert's. Which is why we've had to keep adding on more lunch stops on the Thursday run as we get bigger and bigger. Remember, this is now 31 years with the Key West Poker Run, so we keep getting bigger and the boats are getting bigger, so we have to meet the challenges of the physical size of the event. We've got 4 lunch stops scheduled today. We're probably going to have 5 for the 2024 event coming up soon. Here we are in the Cigarette 38 Flight 1130. Getting ready to ride now. We just kind of hung around waiting for the boats to come off the dock after the lunch stop. We're not actually going to go in and join everybody at the dock today. We'd love to, but we've got to keep the event rolling and the show going because we got 110 miles to go to Key West from here. And thank God for the beautiful weather and no rain. If any of you have noticed that I have a very high pitch to my voice, yes, I'm very stuffy. I'm getting off of a 3 or 4 day bad head cold, which I got from driving my Cigarette around in the pouring rain for 2 days last week in Miami during a reality TV photo shoot where we had 3 Cigarettes running together. So
Even in the warm Miami weather, guys, don't get caught in the rain. And if you do, make sure you got lots of headgear and foul weather gear to keep yourself dry. Looking down at this statement, Passion Cat, a very rare cat for any of you who followed this. They only built about 2 or 3 of these. Of course, it was there in this very event about 15 years ago that the very first Passion Cat burnt up to a crisp. Co-owner of Statement, Todd Werner, and his crew were able to exit the boat before it actually, burnt right down to the rub rails. Of course, it was turbine powered, and that had a lot to do with how the fire began. That's another story, and we'll have to share that one day with the FPC archives. Meanwhile, a lot of fiberglass on display here at Gilbert's, and I'm not sure that we've had that many boats here in a very, very long time. And once again, it only enforces my plan to move ahead with the 2024 event, to have multiple lunch stops and maybe even stagger the starts out with earlier departures, just so we can break up the group. But you can see that everyone's done a great job of docking, though. I'm very happy with the way everybody followed our guidelines and got the boats safely tied up at Gilbert's. And I know that they're all enjoying a fantastic lunch, because Gilbert's does a great job. And I said this in the last episode, and I'll remind everybody that if you want to come down to Gilbert's or Key Largo or anywhere like Isla Morada or the Middle Keys, Hawks Cay Resort, and get a head start on the poker run and stay down here for one night, you're completely welcome to do that, and you'll be able to pick up the poker run as it comes down on the next day. So we can make those arrangements for you. Of course, Amy, our hospitality manager, can set up these reservations for you, just so you can split the run up and really take your time to enjoy the Florida Keys instead of hurrying right through the Keys to get all the way to Key West and go 160 miles in one day. Be nice to go half the distance, spend the night, enjoy the Florida Keys, and then catch up with the next group. Remember, we have a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday departure all 3 days, and that really gives you a lot of options, so you've always got a group to run with. And of course, the boats just keep rolling in one by one. Special mention about SD Marine Group there in the blue 53 Suenos HCB. Of course, they're one of our sponsors for the club and for this event. They've got a fuel stop at their marina on Snake Creek in Isla Morada. And a special introduction to my crew, of course, the beautiful Miss Kendall. But we have Shane Mayhew and his buddy coming all the way from Thousand Islands. They were the sponsor who purchased the Key West Poker Run package, riding along with me on the Flight 1130 Cigarette. I think they paid over $5,000 for it. And Shane wanted to bring his son, but his son is still in school today. But he's flying down, and we're going to get a chance to take him for a ride when we get down to Key West. Enjoyed meeting Shane and his crew. Fun people and great supporters of the charity there in Thousand Islands. And another very special welcome to Mr. Ed Stella from New Jersey, who has this amazing SD41 cigarette. SD, of course, stands for stern drive. They haven't built a lot of these, but this particular one is powered by Mercury Racing 1100s QC4 motors. Guys, this is the ultimate in a center console, if you ask me. It is an amazing and a beautiful boat. The only one like it around in the club right now. Of course, many of you remember the AMG 41 SD. That was a popular boat, still around up in the Florida Panhandle, and a handful of others that were built with smaller motors. But this particular boat has a paint job on it. When you look closely here, the carbon fiber that is inlaid into the paint is just spectacular. This is, I think, one of the most unique cigarette builds we've seen in a very long time. And let's welcome Ed. He's a very avid offshore enthusiast. We're going to take a quick break. At the beginning of the show, we introduced all of our series sponsors, but in addition, we had these feature sponsors join us for Key West. These are Adrenaline Powerboats, Dirty Money Racing, Double R Performance, Grove Harbor Marina, GSX Powerboats, Hydra Thunder Rentals, Legend Marine Group, Marine Technology Inc., Nextera Energy, Ox Diesel Outboards, Palmetto Yacht Management, Renegade Powerboats, Statement Marine, Superior Communications, Unique Custom Marine Vault, Wilson Custom Marine,
and Wozencraft Finance and Insurance. We could not produce the Key West Poker Run at the high level we do without the support of these sponsors, so we want to thank them dearly.
And now I'm going to kick off the aerials, heading down through the upper Keys now on these open bay waters. And look at how beautiful the weather is today and the color of that water. Frank Sheelan's going to give us a show with these big 700s all pumped up to 880, guys. Let's let her roll. And we're going to have to call this episode Horsepower in Paradise as we now catch up with Gabby Pacheco from Team SD Marine Group in that Cigarette 515. And a first-timer now with this 39 MTI is Mel Chingen from Florida. He's got Steven Fernandez on board. Beautiful paintwork on this 390X. And here's a fun segment I've been waiting for, the introduction of Team Nextera Energy, one of our sponsors here with this big 115-foot motor yacht, which is going to be our card checkpoint here in Marathon. Same location as always, right off of Ferro Blanco, and of course what I call the new Fisher Island, Mark and Eileen's private island there with that beautiful home in the background. But it looks like Frank Sheelan and his first mate going to make the poker card stop now after putting on a great show with those big Mercury Racing 700s pumped up with Whipple, Stage 3 Whipples. But now it's the beautiful Cassandra is going to get her time to shine as she goes up on the bow of the boat. Yes, indeed, there she is with all her long blonde hair. I don't know how she keeps it on her head going 110 miles an hour in this cat, but somehow she manages to survive. All the way from Germany, Frank Sheelan has been a club member for more than 20 years and owned a lot of different boats over the period of time, but it seems to be really loving this Nortec 3600 Super Cat. His other boat right now is also a Sunseeker 48 Super Hawk. He plans to bring it to the Bahamas. And you don't have to be from Texas to know Kenny Armstrong and Team Fanton 48-foot MTI. That's because he does events all over the country, particularly with us here at FPC. He's done this event for many, many years, and it looks like we're going to take a chance to get a card. Of course, we can't play, but Kendall says, come on, I want to go say hi to the girls. And I would say this is as good of a show as we've seen from the Nextera Energy Yacht. It's a 115-foot Leopard, and she is called Encore. So I think I can actually use that as an encore because they came back and put on a better show than they did every year in the past. Mark Palanchian and his crew, Captain Alan Sasson on board. And we just love having this team here on this event every year. And some of those beautiful ladies they brought along themselves, and some of them we supplied, their FPC Girls. But this boat always has a big party on board, and we just love having them as a card boat every year. And now say hi to Shane and Vicky Franks and Alex Pratt in this 37-foot Outer Limits Cat, 2023 model with Mercury Racing 450s, Team Good Boy Vodka. And the boat Shane left at home was that 42 statement called Saddle Up. And that new Nortec Flyer model, well, new relatively, it came out a few years ago. Jerry Herson and wife Barbara on this 46-footer with 5 Mercury Racing 450Rs. The couple who live at Ocean Reef in Key Largo joined us earlier in the year for the Bahamas Poker Run to Atlantis Paradise Island. And it's one more time for Ed and Jackie Rachel in Jacked Up. And of course, we know where they got that name from. Their new 2024 Nortec 400 Super Sport Quad Mercury Racing 500Rs, a big step from their 390 that they had for several years, which was powered by 350 Verados. So a big step up and worth the wait. Now let's welcome Team Free Spirit, Nikki and Rick Bomer. Nikki at the helm and Rick the first mate. I like that. All the way from Missouri, a long way from home, and enjoying this 38 Renegade 2022 model, Triple Mercury Racing 400Rs. Riding along today, they have Josh and Heather, Frank and Raquel, and Chad and Nikki. So a fun crew on board today for a great ride to Key West. And a little smile and a little pose from Maddie, one of our Key West girls, as Greg Moppert and his crew pull up in their 41-foot Cigarette Nighthawk. I think this is the boat that won the best paint and graphics last year. Have Mercy is the team name, Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Thanks for joining us, guys. And one more time now with Skip Cripps. We saw him earlier in the show back in Jewfish Creek, this 42-foot Mystic with Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Another boat that sadly left another owner that was busy with his life and sold it, had it for sale for a while, and Skip picked it up, so we kept this Mystic in the club. Has that outstanding Lamborghini color. I'm not sure what they call it, but this is just a beautiful boat. Skip is from South Carolina. He's had a busy year with it since he purchased the boat. We saw him at Lake Lanier, later in Destin at the Emerald Coast event, and now here for the Key West Poker Run. And we're going to keep working our way down to Key West, guys. Remember, the marathon checkpoint is about 50 miles from Key West. At this point, the boats can run down the bay waters. And at some point, they've got to exit and go offshore to come around into the south side of Key West. Or if it's rough offshore, they can always take the backwaters up through the Saddle Bunch Keys. But today, I think, is a good day, and everyone seems to be running good. We've got now Jeb and Stephanie Bradshaw in STACKIN racks. That's because they're in the marine business and they have a rack storage building. They're from North Carolina, and they would normally be attending this event with their Outer Limits, but they had some mechanical gremlins a week earlier, so thank God they had a backup boat. This is a 1987 34 SCARAB Super Sport. It looks great, not bad for a 36-year-old boat. I know you guys love it when I say this is the money shot. Well, I think it is for this episode because as you see this boat making its way through the Moser Channel on the 7-mile bridge, that's about as landmark of a crossing as you can do, guys, from the bayside over into the ocean side. It looks like it's a big center console, maybe a big MTI, but that is a great shot. And, this is why the helicopter is really just hovering around. Let's close in on this boat now. It looks like it is, yes, Pete Mazzo from New Jersey, team No Discipline, a 42-foot MTI with Quad Mercury 400s, all nicely color matched to the graphics on the boat. Now you can see things have picked up a little more now that we're running offshore. Going to be 50 miles on this final leg, but nothing that this 42 MTI cannot handle. Everybody seems to be enjoying the ride. Of course, these big V-bottoms can just crush the waves, so it's no need to be going on the backside or the backwaters today, guys. We got pretty good conditions. I think most of the teams are going to be able to make it offshore right into Key West Harbor. Another big boat that'll certainly have no trouble with these offshore seas is this 47-foot Adrenaline. This is Mike and Robin Layton and their team, of course, the factory Adrenaline team. And this particular boat, I want to say it's probably hull number 4 or 5 of this Reaper model. 5 Mercury Racing 450Rs, and it's their demo boat for the fleet. It's one that they have used to do a lot of poker runs, including the Bahamas poker run earlier in the year. Back in June, in the summer months, we went all the way from Fort Lauderdale over to Nassau and Paradise Island. Nice to see them back. Of course, they'll have the boat on display at the Key West Poker Run at the sponsor dock. Since we shot this video back in November, we have seen more of these 47 Reapers surface on the Poker Run circuit. Every single one of them very different than the one before. And the news from Adrenaline is that there is a new model coming up very soon, so we'll have to stand by and look for that new model, possibly here at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show in October, and certainly on the Key West Poker Run. And now a very special welcome to Patrick Clark from New York in this 28 skater. We actually gave him decal number 28 just to coincide with the length of the boat. I do believe it is the smallest registered boat on the run. But look at, they got a full crew on board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all seated comfortably and just rocking and rolling over these wakes. But the skater right up on top of it with these twin 2.5 Mercury XS outboards. So perfectly dialed in and enjoying these conditions on the bay side. Let's just cross our fingers and hope they can manage the offshore run from the 7 Mile Bridge down. But if not, they've always got the backwaters. And now let's welcome Mike Riggs, another team from North Carolina, Team NSF. It's a 2023 Fountain 38 SCX model, triple 400 Merc mainline outboards. And a Fountain model that we're going to be seeing a lot more of. You can see it's got the double row seating, a 10-foot beam, lots of room, lots of seating. And a noteworthy fact from their video bio, they said they wanted to shout out to Matt from Evolution Trailers. They lost an axle coming into Miami. Matt picked up the trailer at Grove Harbor Marina while they were on the poker run and had it back to Grove Harbor by Sunday so that they could take the boat home back to North Carolina. Another amazing success story from our very loyal marine industry supporters. And it's another big cigarette center console, 41-foot Nighthawk. Catherine McCormick, Team Misbehavin'. We saw them earlier getting their poker cards at Grove Harbor. You can see they've got the boat right on cruise control here today, not really trying to set any speed records, but just have a comfortable ride from Marathon down into Key West. And it looks like this big 41 Nighthawk is handling these waves perfectly as they all have a smooth ride and just enjoy that last 50 miles in this beautiful weather today and trying desperately to avoid those nasty weed beds. And for those of us who need a little squirt of fuel to get all the way to Key West, there was 2 or 3 of us in cigarettes that stopped here in Marathon at the fuel docks in Boot Key Channel. To squirt a little bit more fuel, we had a chance to introduce our charity ride guests on board, Shane Mayhew and his buddy Eric, who made the contribution at Thousand Islands for the charity.
Well, I got my new boating friends here all the way from New York State, came down to join us for the Key West Poker Run. Shane and Eric, now they of course were a part of the Thousand Islands Poker Run, and Shane stepped up to the plate with a big donation to Make-A-Wish Foundation. And for that $5,000 it was, right?
Yes, sir.
For that $5 grand, he got to ride with us on the Flight 1130 cigarette to Key West. So he was going to bring his son, but his son's at school, so Eric got the next seat. So here we are, enjoying a beautiful Thursday on the water. We made it to Marathon. We stopped off here for a minute with a few other boats. We got 50 miles to go to Key West. And so far, guys, a good ride, right?
Awesome.
Not bad. Okay.
Absolutely great time.
Another beautiful day of powerboating in paradise with the Florida Powerboat Club.
And we've got a beautiful ride going into Key West. There's that sunset just starting to make its way down towards Key West. 50 miles to go as we pull off the docks here, guys. Well, guys, we've gone way over the 30-minute mark here on this episode 4 with feature coverage of the Key West Poker Run 2023 presented by Mercury Racing. But the good news is we got plenty more to come, and you don't want to miss a single episode. So be sure you subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so you'll get an update every time a new episode is released. Be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming poker run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones, along with our producer Ryan McCoy, in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.